This is Perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out the season 1 finale of Pantheon. This is episode 8. Man, what a season, what a show, what a finale. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of things that I'm looking forward to, a lot of things that felt very, sad. This was a very bittersweet ending to this season where you thought our characters were, about to win. And I'll explain everything because I find this to be very interesting as an episode and as a whole. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. How are y'all feeling about Pantheon as a show? You know what I'm saying? I hope that this gets more recognition, definitely with season 2 over time, as people keep spreading word of mouth, because I really enjoy talking about this show. It's very different, it's very unique. But enough rambling, let's get right into this episode review. At the beginning of this episode, we're introduced to this brand new character, which I feel like is just a setup for season 2. I don't know what type of role she's going to play, but I'm not too much of a fan of her character. She comes off very brash and just very self-absorbent, very selfish, but kind of takes pleasure in that. It's just really weird. Her whole personality is just really weird. She also was uploaded and kind of been doing her own thing. We don't know exactly what she's been doing, you know what I'm saying, and how many different UIs are uploaded and whatnot, which is really fascinating. And I kind of like that way of them introducing characters. But I'm on the fence with Josephine's character. I'm pretty sure that's her name because it says it on her file. So, interesting way to begin the episode. I would say I'm not the biggest fan, but I understand why it's there. But the way she looks when she's in her uploaded form is really dope. The art is phenomenal. The budget is crazy on this episode. So, swinging things over to Maddie, she gets a call from Caspian, and Caspian is pretty much like, yo, check out this thing that I sent you. It's encrypted. Pretty much sends her like $30 million, which is crazy. She's like, what the hell is going on? Why are you doing this? Because he pretty much tells her, like, I took over the company. I'm here to shut everything down. Don't worry. And this is where you start to see these two kind of differ as far as what these two want to accomplish, where Maddie wanted Caspian to help save her dad, not just kind of do whatever he wanted to do. I think she also is kind of, I feel like everybody has some type of self-entitlement, or not self-entitlement, but some type of selfishness with their loved ones. And maybe that's just her way of reacting because she misses her dad so much. She wants things to be better. But also, you definitely see why Caspian really cares about Maddie. And I feel like, for right now, that relationship is kind of almost severed, not completely severed, if that makes any sense. Now, shout out to Ellen, because she's definitely my favorite character of the entire series. I don't care how anybody feels. I feel like she is the best mom that she could possibly be, as far as how she deals with things between her and Maddie, but also tries to help Joe, kind of help him move on from Lori. But he doesn't want to give up. He feels like, no, she wouldn't want me to give up. I'm going to do what she wanted to accomplish, is pretty much to out everybody. And Maddie, I think, is against this, and she thinks that her dad is also against this. And this kind of causes an issue between these two as well. There's a bunch of riffs happening throughout this whole entire episode with all these characters, where they were kind of bonding with this whole UI thing, but now it's starting to kind of fall apart, and you're starting to see people start to act different with one another and just choose sides. Speaking of choosing sides, you got, obviously, Shonda just being really shady, doing some things behind the scenes, and also recruiting some people that you've seen in the past episode where they were fighting with Lori and David and whatnot, and even Shonda. So I understand Shonda's like whole motive. He is pretty much like Magneto, the way he thinks, that he feels like we are gods, like we shouldn't have to have any constraints. This should just be for ours for the taking. Like, he has a really warped mind of like how he looks at things, and it's very dangerous. And he has these nuclear codes, and you can kind of see what he's doing, but not exactly until later on in the episode, which we'll get into. But it's interesting that he has kind of like this Magneto type of mentality, so it makes him a really dope, compelling villain. Meanwhile, you have Caspian checking out Logarithm's headquarters and checking all the servers and pretty much telling everybody like, yo, I'm going to wipe everything. And what I think Julius is doing here is making him feel comfortable, making him feel like he's winning right now by just letting him do whatever he wants, because this was the best way to kind of reel him in. And I really like this whole theme of just chess, and that's a big theme, and we're going to get into more of that. But switching things over to Maddie and David now, they're both playing chess, and they're just trying to just think of what to do, and it gets pretty much interrupted by Shonda, and Shonda's like, yo, your father has another copy of Lori's whole confession thing. I need him to get rid of that. And this is what ends up happening is Shonda pretty much says like, look, I'm going to blow up this little island, and I'm also going to send a nuke to Sacramento and whatnot. And he doesn't really care. This is how dangerous he is, because he's always going to have a backup plan. He wants to just get rid of any type of threat that's a threat to him by any means. He doesn't really matter, doesn't care about Lori or anything, and that's just really crazy. And you had to have Maddie snap David out of it, because David was pretty much feeling hopeless. You know, he doesn't even want to put up a fight. He just feels like it's already over. But Maddie's like, no, you gotta fight. This is not you. You gotta show what you can do, and you know, you gotta fix this. Going back over to Caspian, and he's seeing where he was born at, and he's asking Julius, are there any more like me? He's like, no, which I think is a lie. There probably is another Caspian out there. That'd be pretty cool that there's like an evil Caspian, but maybe he's just grooming him, making him feel comfortable, like I've been saying, into just doing what needs to be done pretty much. And he pretty much gets ambushed by everybody that's pretty much stabbed him in the back, but he has no choice in the matter. And it gets really interesting as everything goes along. So we get one of the dopest fight scenes though of the whole entire series, of Shonda and David fighting. And I like how these transitions were going on, where it was transitioning from like this fight to like the real world, and that shit was so really fucking clean. But David's trying to stop Shonda from accessing these nuclear codes to setting off these bombs, but it's pretty much too late. Before Maddie can get in there, she gets pretty much caught off guard. She gets caught lacking and cut in half. And before they can even stop Shonda, it's too late. He already lets off the nuke. It's on its way. Shonda thinks he wins, but the joke's on him. David kind of turns the tides and stops it from completely wiping out Sacramento, but he kind of has to use up all of his energy, all of his power to do so. He kind of turns into this big ass like light being, this godlike Mr. Manhattan type thing. And it was crazy because he was getting his ass whooped by Shonda, and just like it was like a 4-on-1 fight, which was not even fair. But he did all this, and he did this self-sacrifice to pretty much get the word out that this is what Lori wanted. She wanted the truth of what Logarithms is doing, so people can just be aware, where other people don't want this information to get out. But this was such a sad scene of just seeing whatever was left of David just disappear, and you just see the emotions from Maddie. Just, it was so well animated. It was beautiful too. It was really dope, really well animated. And it also goes to Mars. That's where the Josephine character's at. She's at Mars. So that's kind of interesting that they got an upload kind of thing going on there. Like I said, I don't know if she's going to lean more towards Shonda's side, or just she's going to be joining the heroes, or she's a good person. I have no idea. But this was a really dope kind of way to end the episode, as you finally get what I predicted was going to happen, that Peter kind of joining forces with just the people that were trying to protest this. Then you had one guy saying, like, I wanted to be uploaded and stuff. That was pretty funny. But that's big and that's huge. There's going to be some ramifications for his character. He's probably going to end up getting arrested, but he did the right thing because he really cared about David, and he always felt remorse, and he just felt guilty for being the cause of all this, and he's trying to make it right. But here's where I was saying, like, you know, Julius was completely playing chess, man. And he's pretty much telling Caspian, like, you could be a god of this world and whatnot, and everything's about to be rebooted anyways. The power starts to kind of go out, but everything is going to come back to normal, all the AIs and stuff like that. And he pretty much puts in his head, like, yo, you're the only one that can really control all this. You know, he's just planting seeds into his mind. It's brilliant. And he tries to call Maddie, but Maddie's not trying to hear none of that. And because he's like, oh, I can help your dad now. He's like, oh, it's too late. It's too late for all that. He's gone. I don't want to talk to you, and just pretty much bangs on him. So yeah, this was a very bittersweet ending, because I feel like Julius is still on top, because now he's in full control of Caspian, even though Caspian is going to try to do whatever he wants. You know, he just kind of played into his hand, while, you know, Maddie feels just completely defeated. And it was odd that you had a circle of people coming towards the house because they're the only ones that have power, and maybe they're going to be kind of like the HUD for just a lot of activity, a lot of people just wanting their resources and trying to figure out answers. So there's a lot of things that leave this ending kind of ambiguous, but I feel like it was done on purpose. Like I said, I don't think necessarily you could say David and them won. I think right now the ball's in Julius's court. I think Logarithms is still on top. Once everything kind of gets rebooted, I don't know what's going to end up happening with Caspian, if he's going to kind of play a villainous role just temporarily. Is he going to be able to make things right between him and Maddie? Is Maddie going to be able to get things together? Because it's like she's really broken up about this. This is like the second time that she's lost her father. So very, very dope finale. Very dope series overall. I think the way that this is all written is really well written. The animation is crisp and clean. They really went ham with the budget, with the fights and stuff like that. And I can't wait to see what they do with season 2. But let me know how you guys feel about this finale and the series as a whole. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.